Hello, it's Saturday the 1st of April, April Fool's Day, and this is your Birmingham News Weekend magazine. Now, because it's the weekend, I'm here with you for the next hour to take a look at what's going on around Birmingham, the West Midlands and beyond. Yes, welcome to the Birmingham News Weekend magazine. Now, coming up on today's show, we'll be seeing what's up on this week's community notice board. Carl Jones will bring us his weekend business update, and then we'll remind ourselves what's been going on around our area too. Later on, Carl will return with the film charts. Our intrepid reporters Steve Green and Jason Forrest will join us with some more interesting guests. Norman Bartlam will tell us what's so special about this month, and Johnny Doo will share his pick of the gigs. So it's all within the pages of this week's Weekend magazine. Welcome back to the programme with me, Lee Bannister. Now, Carl Jones will be back again shortly for his regular weekend look at the silver screen. But first, did you know that Mike Leigh, author of the play Abigail's Party and Oscar-nominated director of the film Secrets and Lies and Vera Drake, developed his technique for improvised dramas whilst working at the Midlands Arts Centre in Edgbaston? Well, it's known these days as Mac Birmingham, but the reputation and the innovation and exciting theatre is as strong as ever. So our reporter Steve Green went along to meet two actors facing a particularly unusual challenge.
Hi Lee. When we talk about great theatrical performances, we usually think of the actor's face or their voice. But what if an actor was to voluntarily give up both of those tools? Welcome to the world of the Vamos Theatre Group at the Midlands Arts Centre. I'm here with Hannah Kimpton and Aron the Casmaker of the Vamos Theatre Group, and I think we can probably lose the mask, guys. Even though that's what you'll be wearing tonight, but you're not in costume at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, we're at the Midlands Arts Centre, and tonight you're presenting The Best Thing, which is a full mask theatre production, which is intriguing. You are, in fact, the leading full mask theatre group in Britain at the moment.
Certainly are. It's a gauntlet that's passed down through many various theatre companies throughout the years, some of whom have changed their focus, some of whom have faltered, and Vamos has prevailed as that particular moniker.
But you both come on board with this particular production, I understand, even though the group itself goes back just over 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does. Rachel, the artistic director, did specific casting for this production way back in October, and we all went along then, and yeah, we're very happy to have been cast in this particular production.
Because that is one difference between yourselves and the more ancient traditions of mask theatre, which of course goes back to ancient Greece and then in the mid-16th century to the Comedy dell'arte, where they wore masks but they played stock characters. You're actually playing characters in a fully fledged drama in this.
This particular style of mask performance is different from something like the Comedy dell'arte or the Roman Atellene or even Greek theatre, where you don't have to present to, say, as large an audience with such a broad spectrum. Here, although we can have such large audiences, given that we're in intimate theatres, the amount of subtlety that we can bring to it and the minuteness to detail is a really lovely particularity to this type of mask.
So you can fully flesh out the characters.
Yeah, when you can have people zoom in to very small facial movements, finger movements that help tell the story, because we don't use any words. It's all through use of our body and imagery that helps.
Yeah, that's the other
tell
thing,
the
of
story.
course. Not only are you giving away your facial expressions in this production, but you're also going without words. There's no, well, obviously there is a script, but there's no dialogue.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the beauties about it, actually, is you do start with a script, and we have a script in rehearsals, and it's a mixture of actions and thoughts that the character will be having. But what it means for the audience is it becomes so much more accessible, the storyline. They have to work that bit harder to understand what's happening, but by doing that, they start hearing the dialogue for themselves, and also they make themselves very more available for the emotional context of the piece.
Well, it is quite a dramatic story. It's set in the mid-1960s.
Yep.
It's the story of a young girl, Susan, who becomes pregnant, out of wedlock, as they would say in those days, and obviously faces the great decisions that a woman in those days would face in that situation.
often very tragic occurrences came about. However, the challenge in making a show about this is not just to underline the social difficulties that were there at the time and perhaps still exist to a certain amount, but it's to find the life of the people there. So where's the fun, where's the comedy, where's the joy that was all part of life?
Well, in those countries, of course, where they do not have Planned Parenthood or are about to give up Planned Parenthood, apparently, it's obviously, it's got an emotional resonance even now, 40 odd years later.
Yeah, and absolutely,
50 years later.
Our audiences have really felt that too. We have a comments book after the show, and we encourage the audience to write down their thoughts after. And we've had so many comments just from people who say, that was me, or I've had a friend and that happened to a friend, or
that was my mother.
That was my mother, I need to share this. It's been unbelievable, the feedback we've had and how much it's touched people on a level that you don't necessarily expect when you start out on a journey with the best thing.
Well, funny enough, at the end of last year, I interviewed another actress, a French actress called Edith Scob, who was in the French film Eyes Without a Face back in 1960. And she wears a mask because of a facial disfigurement for most of the film. And she was saying that it actually made her work harder, but she felt it made her performance more emotionally powerful. So do you find that yourselves when you're wearing masks?
Absolutely. There's a famous quote from Bernard Shaw who says, if you put a mask on the face of a liar, you render that person powerless, because we spend so much time focusing on the facial expressions of someone we're speaking to and the words coming out of their mouth, and we are also so good at lying through those faculties. So you take those faculties away and you look at somebody's body and all that exists is honesty. So our jobs as physical actors with these masks on is not to become another character, but to adjust ourselves accordingly so that it paints this picture for the audience.
Well, I've seen some clips already from the production, and I'm sure that unlike yourselves, the audience will not be silent in their applause. Thank you very much, both of you.
No,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
And you can catch the current tour of The Best Thing at the Artrix in Bromsgrove on Wednesday, the 5th of April, Warwicksbridge House Theatre on Thursday the 6th, and the Courtyard in Hereford on Friday the 7th. Now, Steve will be back next weekend talking to two Midlands filmmakers who hope that their new crime thriller will steal the show when it's released this summer. So then, time to close the pages of the Birmingham News Weekend magazine for Saturday. Now, I'll be here at the same time tomorrow, and then there's more news for Birmingham and the West Midlands every weekday with me at 1, and then Mike is here at 6 and 9 in the evenings. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you back here at the same time tomorrow. Try a bit.